I have these self-improvement slumps where I go from periods of extreme consistency, hitting every single goal, to suddenly not hitting goals pretty much at all. And it doesn't happen suddenly. You lose one habit, you lose the next, and then before you know it, you're just in a slump. And during these slumps, I recognize a certain kind of weakness that I feel that maybe exists, or actually most definitely exists in you as well. But I realized that because of a phrase my friend said a few months ago, which is actually a funny phrase, and I'll tell you what it is later. But it was very important. You see, I'm going to assume, because you're watching this video right now, and to be honest, don't kid yourself, you spend a lot of time on the internet. Because so do I. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything. But it is true that you spend a fair bit of time on the internet. And you will have noticed that the internet splits into two categories online, on YouTube especially. There's the reactions, and then there's the one being reacted to, these two kind of spaces. And at any given moment, you fall into one of these spaces. Maybe you're not just watching the reaction kind of content all the time. Maybe you switch to the other one every now and then. And this is very important. I'll explain in a moment what I mean. What my friend said made me realize, and because for some context, this friend had actually discovered the self-improvement and was into those habits. But when he said this phrase, months later, it made me realize that he's kind of left behind self-improvement. And he's fallen into that weakness trap. The whole idea of self-improvement, and this applies to other things, this applies to your prayer as well, for example. The whole idea is like it's a brick house. The moment you take out one brick, and then the next, you keep doing that, eventually out of nowhere the house just crumbles. And now you could be one of two people. You could be the one who takes accountability and goes back to building the house. Or you could be the weak one, the one I have been. The one so many people are right now, and maybe you are. You could become the guy that sits back and starts justifying his weakness. You could start being like, that house was just a bad house, it was a scam, self-improvement is a scam, all of this is just a scam, it's just run by these sigma alpha males that have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm not at all commenting on the space of all these men online, okay, at all. What I'm commenting on is you and me. You go from admiring and seeing the positives of a lot of these men online, these successful people, to suddenly switching into this space online of watching reaction YouTubers. These are the guys that sit back and comment on every negative thing they can see about any successful guy online. Specifically financially, because it's so easy to go after that online. They will sit back and they comment on every negative thing you've seen. There will be, this guy is a scammer, this guy wants other men to be like him, it's just a whole toxic space. Again, I'm not commenting on the men themselves, okay? No opinions to share at the moment. What I'm talking about right now is you falling into watching those YouTubers, and then what happens is that you become like those YouTubers. You become the guy that sits back, that shares snide comments, that's constantly hating, that has nothing of value to add anymore. You become like one of those guys. And that was me just a couple weeks ago. I found myself for quite some time hating on my favorite self-improvement YouTuber. I wonder who it is. I was just hating on him. And then I realized that I'm just hating on him because I'm currently in a weak spot right now. So I decided to go after things that I was trying to be like and start making fun of the guy that sort of displayed all those good qualities, to try and bring him down, pretty much. It's a common human experience. We either get jealous or we start bringing down the person to our level when we notice that we're at a lower level than we want to be and someone else is actually at the level that we would rather be at. Anyways, that was a bit off track. By now, for the solution to this problem, because I'd like to offer, an insight into a problem that we have, but I also want to give a solution. For today, the solution is actually very simple, because you've already done it right now. The solution is literally recognizing that this happens in your brain. Becoming aware of your mind is the most important and most crucial step to fixing any problem that involves weakness. The moment you become aware of the weakness, the moment you realize what am I doing? I was literally into this whole self-improvement space. I was with my friends and I was working out, I was doing all of this, I was being encouraged by other men, and now I'm just sitting back and watching all these YouTubers hating on just every good aspect, not even every good aspect, just everything about these men that I looked up to just a few weeks ago, and I'm becoming like those men. The moment you recognize at the start what's going on, then it stops it from happening. So from now on, I want you to recognize when you're falling into this weak trap. Don't let yourself become that guy. Please don't let yourself become that guy. And by the way, the phrase that friend of mine said, it's a little weird. I'll just put it in the description. If you want to be surrounded by good Muslim men working towards their purpose, I have a Discord community that is linked in the description. And I want you to join that and be surrounded by men who are positive and who actually focus on the right things and don't let themselves listen to that inner weak voice. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video and that you'll stay strong.